Hello and welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and spirit directly through channeling about how you can best deal with your family over the holidays. And I have 4 groups here that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, and this will be group number 4. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, you can just pause the video. But if you don't need any more time, then just head down to the description box below and find the timestamp for your particular group and click on that, and your reading should appear in front of you. And while you're down there in the description box below, make sure to check out my guide on how to book a personal reading from me. I love doing personal readings for you guys. It's always a pleasure. So please check that out. But let's focus on this reading right here. Choose your group and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose this Jolanda Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 1, the people who will choose group number 1? How can group number 1 deal with their family over the holidays? How can group number 1 best deal with their family over the holidays? Okay, by staying quiet, by keeping yourself out of any arguments that don't concern you, by accepting the fact that you can't save everybody. Like that sometimes people are in a feud with each other and it's not your job to fix it. It's not your responsibility. They are the ones choosing to have this feud. I feel like there are 2 people or more, maybe 3 or 4 people, but I feel like it's mostly like 2 people in your family who keep getting in arguments over the holidays, who start yelling at each other over the holidays. And I feel like you want to save the day, you want to get the family united again, and you want to fix this because it would be nice if the family could get along. And so that's very understandable. But I feel like the advice here seems to be that you should just keep out of it because it's not your job, and it also seems pointless to interfere and intervene because it seems like something they need. And if they need this, they won't let it go. So it's not because they can't solve this feud on their own, because they can. They just don't want to. And so, because like this I feel like for some of you, there has been a family feud going on for like 10 or 20, 30 years, whatever. It's been a long time. And if they wanted to fix this, then they would have fixed it many years ago. So it's because they need this. They need this every year. It gives them something. It might be sympathy, like, or attention or something like that. Like they need this. And like they can divide the family, like where they can get like half of the family, like one of these people who are in this feud, like if it's 2 people feuding with each other, like then one party can get like the half of the family to sympathize with them, and then the other half of the family sympathizes with the other person, and then the family is divided in 2, but then they get equal amounts of sympathy, which is kind of like maybe even fair in a way, like that but of course not fair to the family, because it's like, but in a way I think they actually get along, in the sense that they are actually getting something out of this relationship, this connection with each other, that they are getting equally as much out of feuding. So I don't feel like anybody is actually necessarily the victim here and like the other one being the villain. I think they are both the villain, but they are getting, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I think they need this sympathy. They need to have half of the family tell them, oh, it's like you're too good for that person, and like you don't need this, and that person was so unfair to you for saying this and that, and you're so much better off without this person in your life. And like these, like both of them will get that from feuding. Like both of them will have, like, people tell them that they're too good for this, and that they're too good for the other person, and that they are, like, they will get a little bit of an ego boost out of this too, like where they will get the validation. They will get a feeling that at least half of the family cares about them enough to go against the other half. And like it's kind, like, I don't know what this, but I think this is somehow something that seems to be needed for at least two people in your family. They need to keep this going because they are benefiting from this. And like as long as they are benefiting from it, they won't let it go. Even if you come up with a lot of good arguments, if you say all the right things, if you try to reason with them, they will just find something else to get angry over. Like they will always have something up their sleeve. Like they can even go back to their childhood and find something to be angry over. Like so it's just, it's never gonna end unless they want to end it. But you can't end it. So that's just what I want to say here. So yeah. It seems like it's just, yeah, it's best to be quiet and choose your battles. Don't get involved in something that's irrelevant, really. And when people are getting petty over small things, it's just because they want to. Like they want to get in an argument, and just don't, like, try to ignore it, because the more you keep out of it, like, and the more family members who keep out of it, that's maybe the only way to fix this, is if all the family members just agree that they're not gonna give these two people any attention or any sympathy over this feud. Like that they like if they don't get that out of it, then there's no point in doing it. So, but that's maybe something that requires a lot of, you know, I don't know, a lot of strategy and like talking to all the family members and getting to some kind of agreement that or some kind of pact with all the other family members, and that might be hard. Even if you feel like you can't really talk to all of them, especially if you're in one half of, like, if this family is split in two and you're like a part of the one half who are against the other half because of that one person who started, like these two people who started it, but all these people kind of playing into this feud. Like if you went against the other half, I guess that, like, you would have to get the other half on your side too, by like wanting to ignore whatever these other two people are doing. I don't even know how that would work. Like, I don't know if it would. I feel like the only way is for you to ignore it, at least, is then you get some peace. But maybe there will still be a feud going on, and there will probably be a lot of people involved in this feud too. But if you keep out of it, then at least you will be out of it. Like, you will not participate in it, and therefore you will have peace. So yeah. But I feel like there might also be someone, like, I don't know if this is related to the other feud. I don't think so. But there might be someone in your family who might say something offensive to you during the holidays. And this might not come as a surprise to you, because it might be something that happens every year. There might be someone who's very tactless, like someone who has a hard time, saying the right thing. Someone who's very impulse driven and just says whatever's on their mind without really thinking about the consequences or the effect that their words have on people. Like there might be someone who's gonna comment on your haircut or your hair color or the way you dress or something, and maybe you already know who this is gonna be. Like you know that this is just someone who constantly has an opinion about everything, and says it in a way that isn't very nice. And I feel like the answer here is also just stay quiet. I know it's like going against all my principles, really, because I feel like you should stand up for yourself. But I think in this case, with this particular person, I don't think it's the best strategy to say something back, because like if you say that it's very hurtful, then this person will just ramble on about the youth, or they are so soft and sensitive. Everybody's so sensitive. This person might just, go on a whole very defensive rant about how this person is definitely right and you're wrong for being hurt. And that might just be even more annoying to listen to. Like it's even worse to have to listen to someone be like, and it's kind of just adding to the insult, because then this person will just call you soft and sensitive, and that you get offended too easily, and that the youth get offended too easily, and that everybody's so easily offended. And it's just not very Christmassy or cheerful, Christmas cheerful. I don't know. I just feel like it would maybe just add to your frustration. And so maybe it's just the best way is to just ignore it. Because like I think that would actually be worse for this person if you ignore them. Because I think that's the best weapon. Because if you play into this, then yeah, this person will just keep going and keep insulting you and find it even maybe a little bit, satisfying to be able, like, to have an excuse to just keep going. And so just don't. just ignore it, act like you didn't hear it. Like, yeah, just walk into the other room like nothing happened, and give this person the silent treatment, really, like, because I think that's the only way, because that might actually make this person wonder what they might have said wrong. Because if you tell this person what they did wrong, or what they said that was wrong, then this person won't hear it, won't listen to it. But if this person gets to, contemplate about it themselves, about what makes you angry, or what is it that is like that, then I think it might trigger a thought process that could be beneficial for you, because it could make this person gain a little bit of self-awareness just for a little while, maybe not that much, but enough to maybe understand that they might have done something wrong. But don't confront this person with what they did wrong, because then this person is just going to get too defensive, and that just won't be good for anyone. Like, so. And this person is also maybe the type of person who would say that it was just a joke, and that you don't have any sense of humor if you can't take a joke. And obviously it wasn't a joke, but that is just this person's immediate response every time they get criticized. They just, make it up. Like they just, make up a defense, like right at that moment. And the best defense to use is to just say it's just humor and you don't understand my sense of humor. Like it's a cheap trick to get out of a situation like that. But yeah, but just ignore it, because then there won't be any more talk about it. Like then this person doesn't get to like dig their own grave even deeper. Like And they wouldn't see it like that. Like everybody else would see it as them digging a hole and digging it deeper and deeper. But I think in their mind, they just feel like, they are, like, I feel like this person is a little bit narcissistic. And so everything this person does, they have a way to justify it in their mind to be like the right thing. Like that they are doing the right thing, that they never make a decision that is wrong, and everything happens for a reason. Also, when they insult someone, it also just happens for a reason. Like that everything, like, because everything they do turn to gold, and it's like if they say something nasty to someone, it's to help them or to make their life better. They have like this cathartic, like cathartic in a way, but like that wasn't the, like that they are the catalyst for change in other people, that they have this grandiosity that makes them believe that even when they fuck up right. Like so I don't know, but with the Six of Swords, well, you always have the ability to just leave the room. Like nobody says that you can't do that. Like if you're in a situation, like especially if you're visiting your family over the holidays, and if you have a guest room or if you're staying in a room, then go to that room if things are too much. Like if there's many people yelling at each other, or if there's like someone who says like that person who might say something about your clothes or your hair or something, like when that happens, just ignore it and then go to your room. Like make this person sit in like in the bad vibe, like, and wallow in it a little bit, and maybe they will understand. Like, because if everybody just walks away from this person, they might understand that maybe it was something they did, but of course it would only be you. But I feel like there might be a situation where you're alone with this person, maybe in the kitchen or something, and if you just walk away, then this person will understand that they are sitting there all by themselves, and there might be a reason for that. Like, so I think that's the only way this person is going to get it. But I don't know if they will necessarily. But yeah, I feel like the best way to deal with your family is to sometimes withdraw from your family. Like if things are like, not even if there's like drama going on, but also just if things are a little bit uncomfortable. Like if you're dealing with someone, like if I feel like maybe during the holidays there might be a visit from a family member who might not be any of the family members that we have discussed until now, but it might be a different person, like a new person, and this person might be a little bit off. Like there might be something a little bit behind, like that this person stacks a little bit behind when it comes to their age. Like this person might seem like, even though this person might be 40, this person might come across as someone who's like mentally 13 or something like that, and it might be a little bit hard to be in the same room without feeling a little bit awkward around this person, because this person might say some things or might get jealous if somebody gets like a better present than them, or like if someone, you know, like, yeah, there might be some things where this person acts more like a child, and it comes across as a little bit awkward when you have to kind of explain to this person who is maybe 40 or 30, or like that have to explain that they have to share, or that they can't just eat all the cookies because there are other people who also want cookies, or like that. It's a little bit awkward. But if it gets too much, like, it might not be popular, but it might be what you need to do for yourself to help yourself, is to maybe just withdraw from the situation, go outside for some time, or like try to go to the next room, or maybe even go to the toilet for a long time, like sitting with your smartphone on the toilet and like play some video games, or some games, you know, yeah, or go in and play some video games with if you have the possibility to do that, but maybe on your computer or something. But like if you take your computer with you, maybe just go to another room and just do something that can take your mind off of the situation that's going on. It might be now I'm saying, like, I guess that is a little bit of a childish reaction too, like, but to just go away and do something for you, it might seem a little bit selfish, and I get that, but and maybe some of your family members will maybe feel like you're taking the easy way out by just withdrawing. but they don't get to decide. Like, you don't have to, like, you're not the babysitter of these people. Like, you don't have to be there 24/7. Like, I think it's a good idea to ask if there's something that you could help with, like, during this holiday. Like, ask your, like, if you're visiting your parents or something like that, ask if there's something you can do. But like, when you've done it, then retreat, go, like, withdraw and go outside, go for a walk, do something that can maybe relieve the stress from you. Because I feel like maybe some of you also have some social anxiety, and that could explain why it's a little bit tough to deal with these people. And because it might be hard to to be surrounded by these people and have these expectations from these people that they expect you to be a certain way, to talk to them, to be social, and like, and maybe also expect you to perform in a way where it's like you're meant to be the host or something, or like that. And it might be a little bit much. And it's maybe a good idea, like, especially if you are actually the host during this Christmas, then remember to retreat. Go a little bit, like, go for a walk if you need that. Be quiet if there's something where you feel like a little bit like you should be a part of it, like where you should maybe, like, if there's an argument or something, maybe you feel like you have to intervene. Just remember that do the lazy thing, like do the most passive thing possible. Don't don't overexhaust yourself this Christmas by, like, trying to fix everything, trying to solve everybody's problems, because it's their problems, and you can just take a step back, relax. Don't get too involved, because it's just gonna burn you out a little bit this holiday. I feel like it would be better to just chill a little bit. Tell yourself that you're not supposed to be a savior this Christmas. If these people can't get along, it's not your responsibility to make them get along. With the Two of Wands, I'm also getting that, like, if there's someone who is planning on not attending like your Christmas Eve, or the Christmas Eve that you're going to, like if you have a brother or a sister, or like someone who is planning to, like, yeah, to have their own Christmas, or, you know, something else, like, or go traveling this Christmas or something, then don't try to talk them out of it, because they will still, like, they will still follow their own plan. Like, it's with the two of Wands, it's about plans, and I feel like they're, like, you can't, like, this is also two people who are, like, fighting over a plan. And I think if there is a plan that has already been made, that some people in your family has made this plan and it's out of your hands, then just don't try to force it to be different, because it's just gonna be like a whole thing. Like, it's just gonna end up making someone a little bit bitter and make someone feel like the other person is being very petty about this or something like that. And it's just better to just accept it. Accept that things are maybe not going to be exactly the same, and don't get into the whole blame game that you're actually taking care of your, like if you're taking care of your parents this holiday, like, and your other sibling might just go traveling to a different country and like sit on a beach somewhere and have it easy, maybe you would feel like they are taking the easy way out, that they're just leaving you with all the trouble and having to deal with this family on your own, which is a two-person job. Like that, you need your sibling or your siblings, like you need them to be in your like in your fortress, or like that. It has to be some kind of forge or like whatever, I don't know, but that you feel like they need to be there with you because you're stronger in a team, and you feel like you're a little bit naked if you're just alone trying to fix the family problems. But the way to deal with this is to just accept that you don't have to fix it. And maybe it's even your siblings who have always been kind of pushing this agenda that you all need to fix the Christmas or the family or whatever. But maybe it's just okay to just let things be the way they are, and not trying to, not trying to solve anything. Just living with each other, like having a nice time with each other, trying to make the most of it, and accepting that certain things cannot be changed, and that it's just all about ignoring it, withdrawing. Go for a walk if somebody starts like nagging over a small thing. Like if you have an aunt who starts criticizing the food and your mom gets really mad, then just go for a walk. Don't even try to sympathize with your mother, even though that would probably be the best way to deal with, like, I don't know if it's the best way to deal with this, but because of course you would have to sympathize, you would feel the urge to sympathize with your mother if your mother was just insulted by a family member, but maybe just don't, because maybe that, like, I don't know if that would make this go away, because of course it seems like she could be a little bit dependent on the sympathy coming from you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't give it to her, but maybe she would find a solution to this if she didn't get any sympathy. I don't know. This is just speculation, so I don't even know if it would work out. But maybe do what feels right, though. But try to keep yourself out of things if they don't feel like if you feel like you can't actually change anything, then maybe it's just best to just be neutral. Keep yourself out of it, be passive, and withdraw if things get heated. Because these are adults, they can fix their own problems, they don't need you. And so, yeah. That's just what, like, and they won't fix their problems, but again, that's just not your problem either. So yeah. I think that's all I have for you, group number 1. I hope this reading was helpful, and have a great day. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, yeah, and bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose this Tarot Cats tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling. And then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 2, the people who will choose group number 2? How can group number 2 best deal with their family over the holidays? By taking, like, by standing up for yourself, by taking a stance, by speaking your mind, and by breaking through the silence. I feel like there is some silence within your family. I feel like, I don't know if someone is giving someone else the silent treatment or something like that, or if your family is just a little bit quiet or on the quiet side. I don't know, but I feel like the silence needs to be broken, because I feel like the silence is making it awkward, and also making it like making the holidays a little bit like restrained, or like there's a heaviness over the holidays. I feel like everybody in your family kind of feels the same way actually about the holidays. I feel like they all kind of worry about the Christmas Eve or the Christmas party or something like that, or the New Year's party or something like that, where I feel like they all just feel like it's gonna be awkward, because in a way they feel like they don't really know each other, and it's because they don't talk to each other, or at least don't talk to each other about the important stuff. Like they might talk to each other about the weather or sports, or what football team won this year, or something like that, but it never gets really deep, and it ends up being a little bit impersonal every year. And I feel like there are some uncles, or like some, maybe even some of your siblings, or like some cousins, or like I feel like there might be this expectation that you all should get along and get together over the holidays, and it might seem a little bit forced, because maybe you just don't get along that well, and maybe you only get along with your nuclear family, or maybe you also have a little bit of like awkwardness towards some members of your nuclear family, like maybe your sister or your brother or something, like, but I feel like maybe you would rather just be with the nuclear family. Maybe you're dreading some kind of Christmas party where cousins and uncles and aunts are going to be invited, and it's just going to be a whole thing where it's just going to be extremely obvious that none of you actually know each other, and none of you actually know what each other are even doing, like, for a living. Or like maybe you feel like you don't even remember the name of certain, like, or maybe they feel that way. I don't even know if maybe you have a good idea of like all the names of every family member, but maybe your cousin has recently like birthed a child, and you're like, you don't even remember the name, like, of the child, like, or something, where you feel like it's just been so long since you talked to these people, and like maybe it's been a year since you talked to these people, and it's just a lot of things have happened, and you don't really talk to each other at any other times of year, like that. It's just during Christmas, the Christmas holiday, that you get together. And so I feel like it's just a little bit awkward, and it's also very revealing, because it reveals that that you don't know each other, and it's awkward because you don't know the names and you don't know what they like, and you feel like you have to maybe even give them Christmas presents, and you're like, you don't even know these people personally and you don't know what they like, and maybe everybody in the family feels the same way. And I think that's true. I think everyone feels awkward. Like, no, there are no exceptions. Maybe your grandmother or your great grandmother might be an exception to this, or your mother or your father, or like someone like that, someone who's actually holding on to this tradition and feels like you all have to meet up once a year because it's tradition or something. So there might be someone who's holding on to the tradition, and this person might talk the tradition up and talk about all the benefits and how it's so good that you all meet up during Christmas, because then you can actually catch up, and maybe it will make it less awkward. But I feel like it's not really making it less awkward, because it's just making it awkward every year, where normally you would just not really meet up at all, and nobody says that you even have to meet up with your cousins. Like, you can live a perfectly fine life without knowing your cousins at all. Like, and a lot of people do that. So it's not like it's necessary. But of course, it has to be every year if it should be less awkward to do it every year. Like, but it's just a tradition for the sake of a tradition, I think. But yeah, I feel like everybody, like mostly everybody in the family, feels a little bit worried every time they have to spend time with each other, and they feel like there's awkward silence because nobody really knows each other. And like, there might be someone who's like, maybe your mother or your grandmother, who's like, yeah, the person who's keeping this tradition going, might always feel like every year there has to be like a different a different table arrangement, where like everybody sits in different places every year, so that everybody can sit next to someone that they haven't sat next to for a long time. Like, that it's always about blending the family and mixing it up and making people talk to new members of the family, or members of the family that they don't know very well, or like, it's all just a way to force people to spend time with each other that don't fundamentally want to. Like, and I feel like it's just bound to be awkward. I can't really see the benefits from this. Especially if you live so far away from, like, I feel like many of you are spread out on the country, like where you live very far away from each other, and maybe some of you even live in another country, and it's like you all have your own lives. And like, if you all lived closer to each other, then maybe it would be more relevant, because maybe you would actually hang out with these people more than just one time a year, like if you actually lived close by. But since you might live so far away that it doesn't really make sense to take the travel all the way just to hang out with your cousins, like, I don't know. But I feel like the way to deal with this is, like, I don't know, I said something in the beginning that you should like take a stance or something, but I feel like this is maybe about, I don't know if it's about killing the tradition, because I feel like that's maybe a fight that will be hard to win, because it's tradition, and there are some family members who are very keen on tradition. But but maybe speaking up about how awkward it actually is. Maybe even using that as like an icebreaker. Because the more, like, I feel like mostly all of you have taken the approach where you really don't talk about how awkward it is. Like, where you just try to, you know, halfway get along with these people, like ask about the weather, ask about sports, because you know that's maybe, like, you know, something that you could talk about, like killing some time. Like, I don't know. But I feel like if you just addressed the awkwardness, like if you sit like during the this Christmas party or this Christmas event, or like I just feel like there's some kind of event that you're gonna be where all the family is gathered together. Like if you sit next to two people and you're like, and you have a hard time with the awkwardness and the awkward silence, and you're looking at them and you're like, well, what can you do to break the ice? Maybe talk about how, like, I don't know if it would make you, like, but talk, like, sometimes it helps to relieve the awkwardness by just saying, well, this is awkward. Like if there has been silence for like an hour where the two people next to you haven't spoken a word for a whole hour, then just saying like this is like this is some serious awkward silence. Like I don't know, like maybe it's a weird thing to say, but I just feel like it could just, you know, relieve the tension a little bit. Even maybe it would even make the tension even worse, but it's worth a try, because it's like, yeah. Because sometimes it helps to just tell people like exactly how you feel like right now, because there is a very good chance that the person next to you feels, or the people next to you feel exactly the same. And so sometimes it's just good to open up, because it makes, like, maybe you could even bond over feeling the same way. Because maybe you don't have a lot of things in common, but you might have that in common. And maybe you could even talk about how hard it is to buy Christmas presents for people that you haven't talked to for a long time, or like just trying to like make conversation about this weird arrangement, like this weird tradition of like keeping the whole family together. And yeah, I don't know, but I'm gonna shuffle and see what the cards have to say. But I feel like it could maybe help to also address to the person who keeps the tradition going, address that this is maybe not working for everyone. Like be blunt about it. Like ask if this could, if it could be nice. Like if it's your mother, like maybe ask her if it would be better to maybe just have a Christmas party just for the nuclear family, like where, or maybe some, like maybe a few members, like not having the whole family there. Maybe you could even tell your mother that it would relieve some of your stress, or like that you feel socially awkward, or that it's giving you anxiety or something. Like just put it into words how you feel when you have to be forced to participate in something that is very obviously kind of like not really working for anyone, like that everybody seems a little bit tense, and it's causing you to feel very tense too, that everybody seems tense. and that maybe it's a sign that it's maybe not working. I don't know. It's just a suggestion, but with the Three of Pentacles, I feel like another way to deal with your family during the holidays could be to be the clown. Like, if you want to be, like, I feel like some of you might not be the type of person who's very comfortable in that role, but if you're someone who likes to entertain, if you're someone who likes to, you know, make jokes and stuff like that, then maybe you've been holding yourself back for no reason. Like maybe you felt like it was inappropriate for you to make jokes or be the clown of the party, because maybe you've even had your mother tell you that you should maybe pace yourself, or like try to be a little bit less extra or something. I don't know. I feel like it's a message for some of you. It's not for all of you, because I feel like others of you are maybe not that keen on entertaining people, or I guess I think you're good at entertaining people, but maybe you're a little, like, some of you might be slightly too shy, or like feel like it's a little bit stressful to have to entertain a group of people, and that's okay. But if you are very comfortable in that role, then I feel like you should take advantage of that and just be yourself and try to relieve this silence, because like maybe someone will feel like you're a little bit too much, or like because maybe you just come from a family who are awkward, period. Like, that's also a possibility for some of you. Not all of you, but I feel like some of you might just come from a very silent family who are like chronically awkward around each other, and that's just the way it is. And if that's the case, then yeah, maybe they are too tense and conservative, and like wants everything to just be nice and quiet, and when you sit at the dinner table there has to be silence because everybody's eating, and that's the right way to do it from a traditional standpoint or something like that. I don't know. Then fuck that. Like, just relieve the awkward silence by breaking the ice. Tell a joke. I feel like the people who would mind that you did that are very old and possibly even dead by now. Like, they're not going to say anything now. I feel like maybe they said something back when you were a child, but that's a long time ago. And so I think there is a new generation now who seems to be forced into this awkward silence because it was a tradition. Like, it feels like that has been going on every year, and they feel like that is the norm of this family, that's how you're supposed to be. But I think this can be broken. Like, this can be fixed by just, telling a joke, or like something like that. Maybe even like doing a magic trick or something, or putting some music on. That's always a way to relieve the awkward silence, is just to, turn on the radio and I'm going to shuffle a little bit more on how to deal with your family over the holidays. But I feel like this family is a tough crowd though. So like when you do this, like you can see how this person is trying to, you know, relieve the tension by being a clown. And these people behind, like they're not amused necessarily. They're just, you know, kind of on, like, yeah, kind of just depressed people who seem to not really even notice that this person is, or even maybe noticing it, but kind of not approving of it. But so I don't know why I felt the need to say that, because it's kind of discouraging. But I feel like if they do that, like if there are some people who are not amused, like if you tell a joke and it's like, oh no, like you shouldn't have told that joke, don't care, like whatever. Like there might be some jokes where I feel like some of your family members are a little bit stuck up, like a little bit like, oh no, you told a joke about sex or something like that. That's a no, like that's a sin or something. And that will always happen. Like it's always a little bit hit and miss, especially if you're like if you're surrounded by a lot of people. Like then, like some people will find the joke funny, some people will be outraged by it, and that's just a way to keep yourself alive a little bit. Like you can feel alive by taking a risk. Like see if it goes. Like see how it goes. Like okay, with the Strength reversed, I feel like in the past, I feel like you've been trying to stay strong and just kept going, like just accepted your situation, adapted to your situation. I feel like maybe now is the time to just say what's on your mind. Like don't restrain yourself. Say whatever you feel deep down, and also remember that you have the right to just not go. Like if there is like a Christmas party that's horrible every year, like every year the same awkward silence or awkwardness, or like people just not getting along and not really seeming like they know each other, and it doesn't seem like they're getting to a point where they actually get to know each other, because they just don't really seem to be, they don't really seem to care enough, or maybe they just don't really know how to, and it's just and maybe it's just because it's just hard to force people to give a damn about each other, because, well, sometimes we meet people that we don't like, and that's okay. Like we can't get along with everyone, and the problem with a big family gathering is that when there's a big family gathering, it's like there's a very good chance that people are not going to get along with each other. So of course it's going to feel forced, and of course it's going to, like, it just also seems like some people within the family doesn't really seem to want to make the effort. Like they just go to the Christmas party for the food and like eating all the candy, and then they walk away. Like then they go home, and so it also just seems like some of the family members are also like just seeing this as a free meal, which was not really the purpose of this tradition, and just it's just adding to like the parallel like making like a parallel society within the Christmas party, like or this Christmas gathering or whatever, like that. It seems like some people just go and they only talk to each other and don't want to talk to the rest, and only want to be there for the perks, like getting something out of it, and then they just leave. And it's maybe very hard to socialize with people who also don't want to get to know you, or like, and maybe that's also why you feel like you don't want to get to know them, is because like that you felt this way since you were a child, that they don't seem to want to get to know you. And that's a little bit weird, because it seemed like they didn't really care even when you were a child. And maybe you feel like now that you're an adult, there's a much less likelihood of them actually caring to want to get to know you, because everybody wants to get to know a child, or that's how it's supposed to be. Like, but I think it's okay to just not go, and don't just like, I know it's maybe bad advice, but if you don't want to, then just tell the person who invited you that you're just not really feeling it. And maybe even give this person the reasons why this is just not working for you. And maybe that would be food for thought for this person who keeps this tradition going, that maybe not everyone is as keen on having this tradition as this person is. Like, that this person is maybe like trying to resuscitate or what's it called, like keeping it alive, like, you know, giving it like mouth to mouth, sort of like, and like trying to get the heart like pumping, but it just doesn't have a heart. Like this Christmas party, it never really had one, or maybe it had one a long time ago, but the heart just has disappeared from it, and it's just like a free food for people. Like people just go there for that and nothing else. And I just don't think it's a good sort of arrangement. And maybe if you told that to your mother or your father or whoever is in charge of this, then maybe this person would understand. So yeah, I'm gonna shuffle a little bit more, just to see a little bit more on how you can deal with your family over the holidays. With the Six of Wands, well, this is someone on a bicycle. So, like, I don't know if traveling away from, like, or I don't know, but there is also like a, you know, like laurels, like a laurel crown here, and that symbolizes, you know, peace and stuff like that. And so maybe, or like victory, but still, there is maybe victory in peace, like, but not not for every cost. Like that you should also be able to do what feels right for you. Like, yeah. I don't know. But since I feel like the Six of Wands is also about popularity in a way, and I think you could maybe get some cheap points by attending this Christmas party. Like, but don't, like, but why? But why would you want to be popular within the family? Is it really that important? Like, you can be popular at your workplace. You could be popular within your own family, like your nuclear family, or your own little family with, like, or yeah, I don't know. Like, you could have popularity in your friend group and all of that. Why do you need to have popularity and in the whole, like, extended family? I don't think you need that, and I don't think you want that either. But you could have that by being a good sport and going to all the events and stuff like that. But you shouldn't lose yourself in just trying to be a good sport. And like, nothing changes if we don't change it. Like, or at least try to change it. Like, it's so. I'm gonna shuffle one more card, even though I know it's been a long reading, but I just feel like there might be something else here that needs to be said about how you can deal with your family over the holidays. With the High Priestess reversed, the Priestess, when it's upright, it's about secrecy. When it's reversed, it's about revealing everything. And I think that is very fitting. I think the way you can deal with your family, the best way to deal with your family over the holidays is to be blunt and honest. Tell people how you feel. Don't keep it in. Don't try to keep the tone. Don't try to be a good sport, even though I just said so. But that's the reason why I said that is that could make you very popular in the family to be a good sport. But I don't think popularity, or I don't think that popularity will be that long lasting. I think it might make you popular this year if you're a good sport, but it doesn't change anything next year. And everybody does want the change, but at this, like, sometimes people don't really appreciate the person who makes the changes. Like, if you try to make some changes this year, people might feel like you're breaking the tradition, and they might even feel bad about it, like that they feel like the tradition should keep going even though it's painful for everyone. But then next year people will be happy that they don't have to worry about this throughout December, because of course people won't be happy with this now, as they have already worried for the whole month. And since they have already, had the anxiety and all the symptoms that go with it, then they just feel like it's all been for nothing if it just gets cancelled this year. Like, then it's like their misery has been in vain, or like it's not, if that makes sense. And so I think they will only thank you next year. This year you might seem like a villain if you try to cancel it this year, or if you just don't go this year, like, then people will feel like, oh, they have had to, like, you know, swallow the big pill, or like what, even though it was bad, but they did swallow it, and you just got away with not doing that, like not doing as the other sheep, like that you somehow tricked the system by not going, like that's not allowed. And so I feel like I don't know how to win really, but I feel like maybe you need to be a little bit unpopular by doing what seems right for you this year. If you don't want to go to a party, don't go. If you want to tell your mother or your father or whoever this is that you don't feel like this tradition is very good, or that you might also feel like it's just adding to the Christmas stress of everybody else, and if you say that you feel like it needs to be maybe cancelled, or that you feel like maybe it should be stopped, that maybe this is going to be the last time, if you could decide, then you would feel like maybe another tradition next year would be fitting. If you say that, yeah, you're going to be a little bit unpopular this year, next year it's going to be a whole different story. People are going to be very happy that they don't have to deal with this. So yeah. But I think that's all I have for you, group number 2. I hope this reading was helpful. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, please do. So yeah, and have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose the Grunge Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 3, the people who will choose group number 3? How can group number 3 best deal with their family over the holidays? Okay, by being present and by helping and being charitable. So I feel like there might be someone in your family who needs help. Someone who might have lost a partner over the year, like earlier this year, last year maybe. This person might also have been through a divorce, or not also, but maybe that's the other story that could be. Like, I feel like there's just someone who has been through a crisis, like this year, like earlier this year, or just during this year. And I think this person is having a very stressful and overwhelming time during the holidays. Like it's just a lot. It's very hard to deal with when you've been so stressed out over something else. Like I think this person really needs help, and I think it would be very nice of you, a very good deed, if you helped this person, like if you reached out to this person and offered your help with like buying Christmas presents, or doing the Christmas shopping, or cleaning the house, or decorating the house, or anything like that. I think this person would be very, very grateful if you did that. And I think it would also just give you a feeling of like being there for this person, and feeling like it actually makes you more easily get into the Christmas spirit, because it's all about giving, and the most precious thing that you can give someone is your time and your energy. And I think this person might also need someone to talk to, and I think maybe this is a good time to do that during the holidays. Reach out to this person, because I think this person feels very stressed out and possibly lonely over the holidays. could really need someone just for the company also. Like, and I think it would just make you also just feel like you have that you have a purpose, and that you're doing something good for someone else. And yeah, I feel like you would have done this even if I hadn't told you this. I feel like some of you have already considered calling this person and offering them your help. I think that this is already a thought that has been going through many of your minds. Like, I feel like it's like many of your, like, all of you, I feel like all of you in the collective, like in this group here, you've all thought about this at some point, that you need to reach out to this person, that it's just not good to just keep a distance when this person is going through a crisis. And I feel like that's because you are a very caring person. You're someone who cares very deeply, and I think you have a lot of empathy, and I feel like you can really imagine what this person is going through. And maybe you feel a little bit like other people in the family are kind of not really doing their part in this. And maybe that's also one of the reasons why you want to step up and do something, because it seems like everyone in the family has just created some kind of distance, like emotional distance from this. Like, maybe because of the trauma. Like, some people's trauma response is avoidance. Like, they just avoid everything that reminds them of the trauma. So I feel like that is maybe like a family thing. Like, maybe everyone in the family kind of has the same way to cope with trauma, by just avoiding the subject and not really going there. And maybe you're the odd man out in this, like, where you're actually someone who wants to be there and doesn't just avoid problems when they come. Like, you want to actually be more hands-on. And I think that's actually very beautiful. I feel like you're asking how you can deal with your family over the holidays, and I feel like the answer is that you should just do what you have already been planning to do. And I feel like what you're already doing is already the right thing. And so I don't know if you can deal with your family in a better way than you are already doing. Maybe there's one little piece of advice though coming from Spirit here, is that everything you're doing is right, and you're actually kind of close to perfect in the way that you deal with your family. But maybe you could be a little bit less hard on your family. Like, I feel like if you do a very good deed over the holidays, like by helping this family member with the Christmas shopping or something like that, the rest of the family will probably pat you on the back and tell you that was such a nice thing that you did, or something like that. And it's going to be like you're maybe going to feel a little bit bittersweet about this, like, because you're going to maybe feel like they should step up too, like that it's not fair that they just keep a distance. And so, like, when they thank you, I feel like you will maybe have an urge to say to them that, well, that they should also help, and that like, yeah, maybe blaming them for not being there earlier. Like, maybe you're gonna, like, you're maybe gonna have the urge to play the blame game a little bit. And it's also like very, very normal. It's a normal response. But I feel like during the holidays, it's just a lot better to just accept the gratefulness from your family members. Accept the praise. Just, yeah, enjoy the recognition and the validation, and just leave it at that. Like, there's no need for going any further with it. So yeah. But I'm going to shuffle a little bit more about how you can deal with your family over the holidays. With the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like you need to be patient with people. Don't expect too much from people, because if you expect too much, you're just going to get disappointed, and it's not going to change anything in their behavior. So it's just going to be a disappointment that you're going to get, and it's just like you're going to lose from this. Like, if you expect too much, like, just lower your expectations. Accept that you're dealing with some family members who have avoidant personalities and seem to be a little bit lazy, and they seem to do the bare minimum of like what they could do. And yeah, that's true. They could do much more than they do, and they are not really putting in the effort that they possibly should be doing. But I think, yeah, there are a lot of layers to this. I think, yeah, humans are very complex. They have reactions, and sometimes they have passivity that is a little bit frustrating, but it could just be a trauma response, or like something like there might be an excuse there for them, like somewhere, like deep down, like there's a reason why they act the way they act. And being frustrated with these people is maybe not the way to go. Like, maybe it's just better to just accept that people are different, and maybe also accept that maybe you are just a little bit better than everybody else, like a little bit nicer than everybody else, like a little bit more empathetic than the others, and it just makes you the best one. And maybe that's okay. Like, maybe it's good to actually be in comparison with some kind of lazy people who don't really do anything. Like, then you always win. Like, you always look quite good in comparison. I don't know if that makes it better, but yeah, sometimes it's good to hang out with people who are good for nothing sometimes, like, because it's good to shine and not be in somebody's shadow. Like, that's always kind of difficult. Like, so in a way, I think it's maybe good to just accept that these people are not going to change. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And I think this family just stopped supporting each other for like a long time ago. Like, I don't think this is a coincidence. I think this is something that happened a long time ago, some kind of disconnection where people, like, I feel like this is an older generation. Like, I feel like this is maybe your parents, or your parents' siblings, or something like that, where there's kind of like a disconnection between your aunts and uncles don't really get along, that they maybe avoid each other, stop talking to each other for months at end. Like, I don't know. And I feel like it's not because they don't. I don't think it's because they don't like each other, actually. I think it's just because they avoid each other, because being with each other is too hard or too painful. Maybe because a lot of shit has happened in each person's life, and they might all just be, you know, in this whole competition of having it worse, like being worst off. And maybe they all have a pity parade going on for themselves, and they all want to be the champion of pity, and they can't all be that, because there is always someone who has it worst. And I feel like that is the person who has recently lost their partner, or been in an accident, or had their partner be in an accident or whatever. Like, that is the person who has it the worst at the moment. And I feel like the runner-up might even be a little bit sad that there has been like an accident that has, like, you know, pushed this person off the throne of pity, like, and so maybe this person feels a little bit jealous, actually, that all the attention is going away from them. But I think it's for good reason, because this is just so much bigger. Like, but for a long time, this person had the biggest issues, but it's just not how it is anymore. And that person's issues are also fading away every year, because it's like it's happened a long time ago. Like, I feel like this person, like, I feel like this could be your uncle or someone who might have had like an accident, like a small accident, and might have been, you know, crying for attention over that for many, many years, where it's like always just something that they want to, you know, remind people that it's still very hard for them. But now it's just like there's just a bigger issue here, like, and that issue needs to be addressed, and it's not getting addressed if everybody is trying to, like, wallow in their own issues. And I don't know. So maybe, and I think maybe they also feel like because they have it so hard, then it's just so hard for them to have another addition to their depression or their grief or whatever. Like, they can't really think of this other family member who has had like a terrible year this year, like that. They can't they can't grasp that, because it's just too big. Like, they can't handle that, so they just avoid it, because it's making the cup like overflow, and it's just too much. And that's maybe also understandable, but I don't know. I feel like I understand if you're a little bit tired of these people competing against each other in, like, having it worst. And, you know, I don't know, but and that they are not helping each other because they just expect everyone to help them. So they don't want to help because, oh, they were not there when I needed help, so why should I help this person? Oh, but this person didn't help me. And so, like, it's just all about, like, well, you weren't there for me, so I'm not gonna like, I would have returned the favor if you had been there. And like, it's a whole blame game where it's just another excuse for avoiding helping and being there and addressing the situation and being reminded of what happened, which is still something that is an open wound for these people, even though they seem like they don't care, but it seems like it still was a traumatic experience for them too. So yeah, with the 8 of Swords, I think I think you need to, like, a way to deal with this is maybe to not talk about the issue. I know that's bad advice, but I feel like try not to go there. Maybe these people have had a hard time, like they have something to deal with too, even if it's something that you don't particularly respect that much. Like there might be someone in your family who has a drinking problem and might fall off the wagon every year, and it's like it's getting a little bit old because you feel like it's kind of happening for attention. And maybe it is, maybe it's not, but it could be. And maybe you feel like this person is kind of taking away the attention from someone who actually needs it, someone who's actually dealing with something big, something not self-inflicted, something traumatic and terrible. Like, and maybe you feel like that person who has a drinking problem is a little bit spoiled and just kind of doing it as a way to rebel against, something, I don't know. And that's probably right, because I'm kind of getting it. It's not a very charming disease, or like, of course I know some people wouldn't call it a disease, and I feel like they are partially right, even though I'm not really taking sides in this. I'm not like, but I feel like it's a little bit more complicated than just saying like whether it's a disease or not a disease. I feel like it's kind of in the middle somewhere. So I feel like both parties are right, but I feel like maybe the labeling is maybe wrong, because I feel like it's not either or. I feel like it's maybe a third thing that might just not have a word yet, which is okay. But I don't know. But yeah, I think it's best to just maybe play nice over the holidays. I know it won't change anything, but it might make the holidays more enjoyable. And just know that, like, I'm on your side, and I think a lot of people would be on your side if you explained how your family works and what you don't like about your family. I think everybody would agree with you, but it just doesn't mean that it's something that you should talk to your family about. Maybe talk about this to everybody else, like, or to your therapist, or to someone outside the family, someone who can, validate that that your opinion in this is very much valid. It's just that it might just not help anything to make it known to them. So, and it could also cause some divide within the family if you start pointing fingers at people, even though they might need a wake-up call, but maybe do it after the holidays, like when the holidays are over, because especially if there are children involved, then like it's not very good to ruin the holidays for the children. But you can do it all the other days of the year, like do it right after the holidays. That doesn't matter, like, but just don't do it during the holidays. So, and the reason why I'm reading that from this card is because this person is choking up in front of a crowd, and I think, like, in a way, I feel like that's like choking on your words, and I feel like maybe that is the advice here, to do so. Like, don't say exactly what's on your mind, even though it's true, but don't be honest about it, because it might just not, it might not be good for them to hear this during the holidays. Because it might make some people angry, and it might make some people want to not attend, or like want to drive away or drive home, or like it might create like a reaction that could make the children uncomfortable. Like if somebody leaves in a rage, like it's just not a good vibe, you know? And I feel like there are some people in your family who are very sensitive, especially to criticism. So, yeah. With the 9 of Swords here, I just feel like, well, I feel like if there is a Christmas party or something that all the uncles and aunts are invited to, and all the extended family are invited to this party, if there is a party like that going on in your family this year, there's maybe no shame in not going. Like, you can help your family members, you can even help with the organization of this party, and like do the shopping for this party and decorate for the party and do all of that, but not going. Like, nobody says you need to go. Like, you can just say like that, oh, you have some other plans right at that time or something like that, and that's okay, because you don't have to deal with these people. Like, if you feel like you only like some of the people in your family and other people in your family are very triggering and like make you a little bit angry, then, well, maybe it's okay not going. So that's just some of the advice here, is to like ask yourself if you can face these people without getting angry. And if so, like if you can't do that, don't risk it, because it's just like, it's a normal reaction from you and it's justified, but like, you should also have the Christmas that you want. Like, and so, yeah, do what feels right for you. Don't do anything just to make these people happy. So I'm gonna shuffle a little bit more. About, like, you could also, like, if you just want to, you know, meet up with this person who has had a rough year this year, like, if you just want to keep this person company, like, if you just want to do that, like, one-on-one, then you can just do that, like, and then call it that. Like, say to this person, this was nice. You like the company where it's just you and this person, and you would very much like to just hang out with this person, but you just don't want the rest of the family, so you're just going to cancel on the party where the rest of the family will be there. Like, and that's okay. Like, then you've done your good deed, and you're going to feel good about yourself for keeping this person, like, company and helping this person. And then, like, you don't need to do more. And so, yeah. And then nobody can come and blame you for not helping or not being there, or like, because you've already done that. So I'm going to shuffle a little bit more about how you can deal with your family over the holidays. with the Knight of Pentacles, be patient. I've said that before, but be patient with people. Like some people don't, like the people who deserve it, the people you feel deserve it, like the person that you have even like been thinking about reaching out to. Be patient with this person and give this person your time, like, and don't rush this person, and ask this person if this person wants you to stay for stay longer, because you can. And of course, if you want to go to the Christmas party, like if that is something you actually want, but you're afraid that you're going to say something, then go anyways. Because even if it makes, like, I feel like maybe try to restrain yourself a little bit. Don't, like, if you feel the urge to say something, I feel like you can, like, you have enough impulse control to stop yourself. You might be afraid that you can't stop yourself, but you can. And you know you can. And this is just the worst case scenario, and I don't think the worst case scenario will actually happen, because I think you can easily just get along without mentioning any blame, or without kind of like calling someone out for trying to steal the attention or something like that. But yeah. But you don't have to. Like, that's just the message here is, do what you want. You don't have to go anywhere you don't want to go. So, yeah. But I feel like if you don't want to help, if you have like this feeling that you don't really want to go to that person that needs help, then I think, like, I feel like you can manage that, even though it might not be your favorite person, but this person really needs your help. And I feel like you're also gonna realize when you spend time with this person that it's not as bad as you might have imagined, like that it's maybe even a little bit nice, and also a little bit intimate, because it's just you and this person, and maybe you have only been talking to this person while there were a lot of other people around, and maybe this person is a little bit different in a crowd. Like, this person gets maybe a little bit agitated, or like a little bit, tense when there are other people around, or when there are a lot of people around, and this person might end up like being a little bit unpleasant when they are, like, maybe also when they are surrounded by the people that are like competing for the attention and competing for the pity. Then this person might withdraw and maybe be a little bit agitated or a little bit annoyed with these people, and maybe you have only met this person while this person was frustrated with other people, and maybe you might have felt like the frustration was aimed at you, but it wasn't. I think it was just their mental state that was being disturbed by these intruders, or these people that this person is not that fond of. And that could be this person's siblings. But some people, like some siblings, don't get along very well. And like sometimes, like especially in the older generations, like siblings were not really pushed together and like meant to like become friends. They were like more like cats, like they had a purpose, like they had to do some work around the farm or something like that, and maybe they never really got to that, like the bonding, where it's more like they were colleagues more, like than siblings growing up. I feel like, I don't know if it was child labor or something like, I don't know, but maybe it's different for some of you. But I think it's just, it was a little bit more professional and a little bit more serious, this interaction that they had with each other when they were siblings. Like it was, or they have always been siblings, but when they were children, then like it's just, yeah, I think maybe you don't really understand this because how you were raised was so different from this. Like you were raised to actually love your siblings, and that siblings were supposed to stick together, and like that you've just been raised in a different way, and so maybe you don't understand this sibling dynamic where nobody talks to each other unless they want pity, or you know, when they want to compete with each other, like that it's maybe a little bit foreign to you, that siblings would avoid each other when there's a crisis, like, and that makes no sense. But I think it's just how it is when you're not emotionally invested in each other's lives. So yeah, but I think that's all I have for you. Group number 3. I hope this reading was helpful, and yeah, if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, please do. And yeah, have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose this Omegaland Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 4, the people who will choose group number 4? How can group number 4 best deal with their family over the holidays? Okay, by being honest about what happened to you. I feel like you haven't been completely honest with your family about something that is very big, like something that has affected you a lot. And I think it's very important that you share this with your family, because your family has a hard time understanding what you're going through when they don't know the details of what happened. So I think you might have, maybe you don't want to, like maybe you haven't felt like it was the right thing to do to share this, maybe because you didn't want to burden your family or wanted to spare them the details or something like that. But I feel like it's just important for you too, because I feel like your family is making all these, like they're jumping to conclusions, and like I feel like since you're not telling them what really happened, I feel like it's creating this space for them to come up with, like this empty space where they can come up with different narratives, different alternative stories that could have occurred. Like they might think, like, since maybe you have been isolating yourself from your family, maybe because you've been healing yourself from what happened, and maybe avoiding your family was a way to heal, like maybe it was just because it was too hard. And in their mind, or like how they see that, is that you've been avoiding them because you didn't want to be with them, or like that you didn't want to spend time with them. So they might have taken it personally, some of the choices that you've made for survival, like because it was very important for you to make these decisions to heal yourself, to unburden yourself, and giving yourself the time to get through this. And I think they don't see that. They just see it as you ignoring them. So I feel like it would help bring perspective to their eyes. Like they would see it differently if you shared more about, or I feel like some of you might not have talked about this at all, which is really creating this empty space for them to just make all these conclusions and assumptions. And I think it's just a good time maybe now to come clean and tell them everything, because I think this could also help you avoid getting some kind of inappropriate things that they're going to say to you, like, because they don't know. So they don't know that there are certain things they shouldn't talk about. So and since they don't know, they don't know what a sensitive topic it is. Like if you are on a sick leave, or if you have like a standstill within your career right now because you're healing, and you have to focus on your healing right now, and maybe you don't have the biggest ambitions for your career because you're healing, and you can't really think about that right now, and that's understandable. But I think maybe from your family's perspective, you're just being lazy, or that you're not serious about your career, or that you're just, fucking around, or like not fucking, but that you're just that you're not acting as an adult or something, that you're just I don't know, but it's just very hurtful, and it's because they don't know what happened. So they just make all these stupid assumptions and joke about it as if it's something that is allowed to joke about, because they don't know the seriousness of it. So they just think it's something they can make jokes of. Like they make light of it because they think it's something light. Because laziness is light. Like they feel like it's okay to tease someone who's lazy, but you're not lazy. But that the problem is they don't know that. They don't know what is causing this standstill. And yeah, I think you have to be honest. Okay, with the 10 of Swords reversed, I feel like it would also be very healing if you told your family about what happened, because now you're just alone with this, and I feel like you could share the burden by sharing this with your family. And I think you would also get support, the kind of support that you're not getting right now, because there are too many people in your family who just think you're just, being like being out there, partying or something like that, or that you're just, I don't know, messing around, being unserious, being lazy, not wanting to work, and it's just very unhinged, But and it seems they're going to realize how unhinged it actually was when they realize the actual cause. So you're also making it very awkward for them the more you wait until you tell this. I'm not pressuring you to tell this, but the more you wait, the more stupid things they end up saying, and the more things they're going to regret when they actually find out how serious this actually is. Because then they're going to have these flashbacks of, oh, damn, I made that joke, and that was very that wasn't right. Like that, I shouldn't have made that joke. Or like then they're gonna go through everything they said and realize that they fucked up many times, and maybe that can all be avoided. If, like, I'm not saying that you should do it for them. I think you should do it for you, to heal, to help you, get through this. Because I think you need the support of your family. And if not that, I think you need to maybe talk about it a little bit more. Talk about what happened. With the Nine of Wands reversed, I feel like you need to be a little bit less, because less shielded, less guarded. Because when this card is upright, it came out reversed. When it's upright, it's someone who is guarded. It's someone who is overly protective. And I think with this card being reversed, I think you need to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to be vulnerable and fragile and sensitive and emotional. And sentimental, and like allow yourself to show feelings, because I feel like you're avoiding talking about this because you're afraid that you're going to be emotionally affected by it, and that you're going to show emotions, and that you're maybe going to cry if you talk about it. But this is good. It's good for them to understand the extent of what this has meant for you and your life, and that this is not just something that you're taking lightly, because it's something that has caused you so much pain and grief. And I think they won't take it lightly either, because they're going to understand it when you explain it. They're going to understand that it's not just like nothing, like it's something big, and it like. And I feel like you need to explain this and not be so protective of yourself. Dare to open up. I'm going to shuffle a little bit more about how you can deal with your family over the holidays. With the Three of Swords, show them your vulnerability. It's also like a heavy heart can sometimes create stability. Like it's a weird card when it's in the Rider-Waite. There's a heart, and then there's like three swords piercing through it, and the swords kind of create a kind of like a tripod thing, where it's like it's actually being stable on it has these three legs that it can stand on and be very stable on. And it's, of course, it's a heart that's being pierced, but it's like there is some stability hidden inside of the heartbreak. And by sharing the heartbreak, maybe, like in this case, that there, maybe the chaos that you're feeling right now is maybe because you're alone with all these feelings, alone with all this grief and all this hurt and all this pain. And if you shared it, maybe it would create a little bit of stability, or maybe a feeling like you're not alone against the world. Like you have some people who are with you and are willing to help you. And I think I think you would be surprised of the positive reactions you would get if you opened up. I don't think anybody would think less of you. I don't think anybody would like blame you or be like, I don't think anybody would think any sort of negative thought about this. I think they would only be supportive. And I think you also know that. I think you know that. So I just think you have had a hard time finding out a way to explain this to your family. And maybe you're afraid that you're going to, break down, like that, talking about like that. Maybe the fact that you have kept this inside for so long, maybe you feel like that is what keeps you going. That you're afraid that if you share this, then you're just going to break down and you're not going to be able to gather the pieces, like that you're just going to explode, and like that it's just going to be like a snowball effect downwards, where it's just going to become bigger and bigger and bigger, and that you're maybe going to regret ever saying something to them because you feel like it's just like that then it gets too real. And maybe you're even afraid that your family is going to be too supportive and that they're not going to, not going to look at you the same way after that, or that they're going to act differently towards you. But I feel like they are just going to be supportive. And it's okay to just accept that support. And if they make a big deal about it, then it's very likely because it is a big deal. And that maybe you're kidding yourself into believing that it's a smaller deal because it's helping you cope with it, to kind of minimize it in your head and reduce it to nothing and act like it's not that big of a deal. But it probably is. If you're afraid of that reaction, then it is. So it's okay if they overreact. That's better than underreacting. It's better than feeling like they don't care at all. Like, I think they are going to care very much. They're going to be a little bit extra about it, but I think that is ultimately the best outcome. So I'm going to shuffle a little bit more about how you can deal with your family during the holidays. So with the Emperor, well, I think reaching out to your dad, maybe especially, could be very helpful. Telling your dad what happened. It might be the hardest thing to do, to tell your dad about it. But maybe you have already told your mother. And maybe you have told your mother that she shouldn't tell your dad. about it, or something like that. I don't know the specifics, but I feel like maybe you need to talk to your dad. Of course, your dad is very protective, and there is like a big dad here, and there's 2 children here, and they are like very protected by the dad. And I feel like the reaction you're gonna get is maybe overprotective, and I think it's gonna feel nice though. I know that you probably don't want that. But what reaction would be best? Like, because at this moment the reaction you're getting from your family is very confused, because they don't know anything about what you've been through, and so they like, I feel like if you don't tell them anything, they're just gonna like kind of act like you're just, you know, like like, what would you rather have your father be disappointed in you because of where you are in your life, or would you want your father to be overly protective of you? Like, that's the 2 things that you can, like, because I feel like if you don't tell your dad what's actually going on, then your dad might be a little bit disappointed that you might not have found love, or that you don't know where your career is going. Like, there might be some things that where your father is going to maybe tell you that he expected more from you or something, and it's going to sting a lot, because it's something that you can't do anything about. Like, it's your healing, and you're in a place in your life where it's just hard to move on from what happened, and I think that might just be more problematic than to tell your dad and have your dad be extremely sympathetic of what happened and understand you completely and want to give you all the support in the world. Like, that's just, yeah. I think it's just important that you come clean, tell them about everything, because it's just much better than the alternative. If you keep it in, it's just going to cause you more grief. So I'm going to shuffle a little bit more about how you can deal with your family. With the 9 of coins, it kind of came out halfway reversed, but I'm going to read it as upright. So this is actually a woman who's taking something out of the cabinet. Like, this is a woman who's, like, you know, getting some canned beef out of the cabinet. So it's kind of like getting, like, coming out. Like, if you're a homosexual and you haven't told your family about that, then maybe it should be something you should do this year. Coming out of the closet. Getting that out there. Because they need to know. They also need to know because it might not have been easy to do so. And there is a lot of identity crisis and a lot of feeling like you don't belong anywhere, and feeling like there's something wrong with you, or like there's a lot of, you know, psychological patterns or processes that will start whenever someone goes through that, like finding out that you're gay, like that. It's, and maybe you found out about that a long time ago, but maybe it's something that you haven't been wanting to tell anybody in fear of their reaction. But I think I don't think you should have any fear of their reaction. I think they will actually be very understanding. So yeah. And also, like, if you have recently been like, this is something completely different, sorry, but I'm just changing the subject to something else, but like it's just something that came through, that if you have been diagnosed with something that you haven't told your family about, like if yeah, then maybe you should tell your family about that, like that you are going through something, like health-wise or mentally, or like that there's something that you, like a whole process that you're going through, like especially if you're getting a diagnosis from like a psychiatrist or something like that. It might be a very hard process to go through, and like you might have been trying out different types of medication or something. Like I know this is just for some of you, but I'm just getting a message about that. And I feel like your family might not understand the stress that you've been in, like by dealing with all different side effects, all different, maybe some side effects that were very, very difficult for you to live with, like things that really took a toll on you or something like that. Maybe you should come clean and tell them about that, and tell them that in great detail, how it has actually affected you and why it has been so hard to focus on anything else while you have been through this process. So yeah. So yeah, I feel like the best way to deal with your family over the holidays is to come clean about anything that you are keeping secret from your family. Come clean about it, talk about it, be honest with your family, share whatever is on your mind. They need to know. They would first of all support you a lot if they knew, and you're just robbing yourself from the support of your family by not telling them. So I feel like you need to tell them. So yeah, that's all I have for you, group number 4. I hope this reading was helpful, and have a great day. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below to find more details on how to get a personal reading. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, please do so. And yeah, thank you for watching, and bye.